Preschool, it's Miss Alyssa. It's nice to see you. Welcome to week 6 of virtual occupational therapy. I have my bins here today. In bin 1, we are going to do hand strengthening activities. Bin 2 is our craft, and bin 3 are our self-help skills, as always. So for hand strengthening today, you will need some kind of container with holes in the top. You might have like a spice container like this. Maybe you can empty it, or if you have an old one that's empty, don't throw it away. Save it for fine motor activity. So I'm going to use this Parmesan cheese container today. You'll also need toothpicks or something small and skinny to resemble a toothpick. And you can use Q-tips as well if your container is big enough. So to work on pincer grasp or an efficient writing grasp, we're going to have the students slowly drop either toothpicks or Q-tips into the holes on the container. So you can also have races doing this, and that's a lot of fun if you have 2 containers and 2 sets of toothpicks. So we're just going to drop them in as fast as we can and make sure the kids are doing it one at a time. So you can see when you pick up something small like a toothpick, you're using your writing fingers. You can't rake the toothpick because you would never be able to get it into the hole using your hand like this. So we're dropping them in as fast as we can. And I would probably do maybe 10 or 20 to warm up. And then we have the Q-tips as well. You can drop those in. And you can break these in half too. And there you have it. That's our warm-up. Now, if you don't have these materials at home, I'm going to give you another activity to do. And that is a hole punch activity. So these are really handy to have. They sell them at the dollar store. And then you would need index cards as well. So this is great for color and letter identification. You can hole punch the letter. So you can have the child pick the letter of their name, slide the card in, so you're working on a two-handed skill, squeeze for hand strength, and punch the hole. And they could do that all the way around the card. If you don't want to use the letters, they can just practice doing the card. The other way to do it is have them recognize colors. So they can punch purple, pink, blue, orange, red, and black. So it's like that. So this is a great tool for hand strength. Now, if you don't have a hole puncher, the other fine motor skill that you can do is with paper clips. And I use these a lot with the older kids. So what's nice is if you have the colored paper clips, you can have the kids match the colored paper clip to the color on the card. So you can just have them slide the paper clips onto the index card, or even a firm piece of construction paper or a thin piece of cardboard. So this is a great handwriting warm-up and craft activity warm-up. So we're all done with bin number 1. Our craft today is another spring-summer craft. We're going to make birds in a nest. So you will need a paper plate. If you don't have a paper plate, you can trace a plate or a large circle and cut it out on white construction paper. You will need markers. So you definitely need a blue marker for our sky and an orange marker for the bird's beaks, and then a black marker or a blue marker for their eyes. You'll also need some scrap paper. So I'm using up all my scrap paper from our other sessions. So I have brown for the nest, and then I have yellow for the birds. You'll also need scissors and glue. And then you're ready to go. So the first thing you're going to do is have the student hold the plate like this and practice drawing a line across. You can make 2 dots for visual cue points like this and have them practice drawing the line across from left to right. And then they're going to color in the top portion of the paper plate or the circle with a blue marker to make the sky. And this is great for helping kids color within boundaries too, because you don't want them to cross that horizontal line that they just made. It's also a good skill for them to learn to stabilize the paper when they color, because they have to hold the plate down with their non-dominant hand. All right, now we have our blue sky. Now we have to work on the nest. So I am going to have the kids cut skinny pieces of paper out for their nest. So again, we're going to practice lines, but this time we're going to do lines down. So you're going to have the kids draw dots at the top, or you can draw the dots at the top of the paper, and then make line down, line down, line down, down, and down. Now we're going to have them cut on those lines. So make sure you're holding the scissors the right way. Your thumb is in the little hole. Your other fingers are in the big hole. And we're going to open and shut. So open, shut them. Open, shut them. Give a little snip. Open, shut them. Open, shut them. Give a little snip. And you're going to keep going. Now you really only need probably 3 or 4 pieces of paper. For us, it's not a lot of cutting, but for little hands, they can get tired easily cutting all these lines. All right, so now we have our skinny strips of brown paper, and we're going to rip those in half. So this is another good fine motor skill for kids to have, to be able to rip paper. A lot of kids try to pull this way. You can always start the paper for them. Make a little tear. One hand goes forward, one hand goes back. Now you need your glue stick, and we're going to make our nest on the lower portion of the circle. And the lines don't have to go perfectly straight across, because when you look at a bird's nest, it's kind of messy. We're going to stick those brown pieces of paper, those brown sticks, onto the paper plate to make our nest. Make sure you push down and maybe give it a few seconds to let it dry before you move your plate. And there you have it. You have our bird's nest. The next thing you'll need is your yellow scrap of paper. So I actually only need a quarter sheet. So I'm going to save paper. And you're going to fold it in half. So we're practicing folding again. And then you're going to have your child draw or trace a circle on that quarter sheet of paper. And these are going to be our birds. And then we're going to cut out the circle while the paper is folded. And if your child can't draw a circle yet, they can always trace the dots that you make for them, or you can do hand over hand, or you can pre-cut the circles. There you have it, 2 birds. We're going to glue those birds into our nest. And if you have Google eyes at home, I have them at school. I wish I had them here, but if you have them at home, they're great because they're little and kids have to pick them up with a pincer grasp and put them on. But we're going to draw our eyes on today. And this is great for body awareness, so kids learn where the eyes go and where the beak goes. So with your orange marker, we're going to practice drawing a tiny triangle. And if that's too difficult, you can always cut a little square of orange paper and make a beak. And there you have it, 2 birds in a nest. That's our craft for today. Whoops. We're going to move on to button, snap, and zip. So, as always, when kids are starting out, you want to use larger buttons. Place the garment flat on the table and open it for them. Okay, so they're going to pick up the button just like they'd pick up a penny to put it in a piggy bank. And then they're going to find the hole. You might have to help them. And it's peekaboo. Pull it through. So if you feed the button partially through the hole, I don't know if you can see this. Move it closer. They can pull it through. So you really want to work on pushing and pulling. So peekaboo, which is the push, and then the pull it through. And there we buttoned. So I always want to work on zipping too. Now the thing I see the most when I work with kids is that when they're zipping, they're stabilizing the zipper with all of their fingers up. You want to make sure that they turn thumbs up to zip so they have more control. So they'll take that little zipper there and it's put the car in the garage. Make sure you push it all the way in and pull up. And that's why we work on ripping paper for that reciprocal movement, because that's the same movement you're doing when you're starting a zipper. All right, I know this session was a little short. You can always add activities to this. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I hope to see you in our Zoom session next week, and happy Mother's Day to all your moms out there. Take care.